Hey guys, it's Brett from Brooklyn Craft Company, and I want to teach you how to knit. I've got some yarn and needles here, and I'm going to make a few videos to show you all the basic steps of knitting. And in this first video, we're going to learn how to cast on. Cast on is the very first thing you do when you start any knitting project. It's how you get your yarn attached to your needles, and it creates the foundation for all the knitting stitches that you will do next. So let's learn how to cast on. So to begin casting on, we'll need the needles that we'll be using for our project and our yarn. We're going to learn a method called the long tail cast on method. So to do that, you take your yarn and you start with a long tail, approximately 1 inch of yarn for every stitch that you need to cast on. And when in doubt, always just use a little extra yarn because you can always trim whatever is left over. And we're going to make a slip knot. And then place the slip knot on one of the needles and tighten it. And we actually only use one needle when we're casting on. So now we've got the tail of the yarn, which is here. It's got the cut end, and we've got the yarn that is attached to our ball of yarn, and that's called the working yarn. So we have the tail and the working yarn on the needle with a slip knot. We're going to hold these two pieces of yarn between the fingers and then separate them with your pointer and thumb. Make like an upside down V. Then we're going to take the tip of the knitting needle, go around the outside of the thumb, underneath that strand and up through the loop on the thumb, around and under the strand on your pointer, back through that loop on the thumb, and pull it tight. And now this counts as 2 stitches that have been cast on because that slip knot does count as 1 stitch. So we're just going to keep repeating that to cast on the number of stitches that we need for our pattern. So again, we're going to grasp both strands of yarn in our fingers, put pointer and thumb in between the 2 strands of yarn, spread them apart. Then we're going to take the tip of the knitting needle, go around the outside of the thumb, underneath that strand on the outside of the thumb, through the loop on the thumb, around the back of the strand on the pointer and underneath, and then bring that strand through the loop on your thumb. Pull it off and tighten. Now you don't want to pull too tight, you're just kind of going for tight but not too tight. Nice gentle medium kind of tension. So again, pointer and thumb in between the 2 strands, pull them apart, around the outside of the thumb, through the loop on the thumb, around the outside of the strand on your pointer, and then bring that strand through the loop on the thumb and pull. Again, around the outside of the thumb and through, around the strand on your pointer, and then bring that strand back through the loop on your thumb. Let's see that a couple more times. Again, around the outside of the thumb, through the loop on the thumb, around the outside of the pointer, and then bring that strand through the loop on the thumb and tighten. So again, we grasp the strands between our fingers, put pointer and thumb in between and spread them open, around the outside of the thumb, around the outside of the pointer, and back through the loop on the thumb. This is one of those things that feels crazy awkward at first, but hang in there, keep trying, and you'll see that eventually it becomes really automatic and easy. And then you'll just cast on the number of stitches that your pattern tells you to cast on, and each one of these will become a knit stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll do one more for 12. So that's casting on. This is the foundation for just about every knitting project. And once you've cast on the number of stitches required by your pattern, it's time to start knitting. And in the next video, we're going to learn the basic knit stitch. So check out the next video.